Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode where we will be building my very first ever Jurassic World Evolution 3 sandbox zoo, and we are starting with the entrance and a parking lot. So let's get started. So Jurassic World Evolution 3 is finally out. It's been like a couple of days or weeks now that the game is out, and I have played a lot of campaign at the very beginning, but now I'm actually feeling comfortable enough to play a little bit of sandbox, which is the normal type or style of game that I play, as you might know from my Planet Zoo videos if you've known me from my channel back then. So you know that I basically only play sandbox, but with Jurassic World Evolution I do love to play the campaign, and there I actually do not care about the look of my zoo or anything. So at the very beginning I only played like campaign, and then I was like, maybe I can start playing sandbox again. And as you might know, I have not been playing a ton in the last couple of months. My last video has been like 8 months ago, and since then I haven't really played Planet Zoo. So it was a little bit rough starting again with playing a sandbox game, and especially a different game than I used to. I have also played Jurassic World Evolution 2, but back then I've only played the campaign. I've never played sandbox. So now starting with this, it was a little bit like out of my comfort zone, but I feel like I did really well. To be fair, I have started a different entrance at the very beginning, and I hated it. So after like 2 hours of building, I completely wrecked the project, got back to campaign and was like, okay, whatever, I don't enjoy it. But after a couple of days, I gave it another try and started this project that you can see right now. Here I am building the entrance to the very first Jurassic World like sandbox zoo that I've done, and so far I really like it. It was quite a journey. I took like a week or so to build the whole thing, especially with entrances. Even back then in Planet Zoo I did not enjoy building them, or it was just a little bit too overwhelming to build them because there are so many details and stuff like that. And this is just an extremely ginormous building with like a plaza in front and then a parking lot and so on. So there's a ton of things to build and to take into consideration. So I feel like entrances are just really tricky to build. At least this is what I feel like. I've always been more of like a habitat builder, or generally stuff that is directly connected to the animals in a zoo, and not really with like staff buildings, restaurants and entrances. And even in my last Planet Zoo project I didn't even have an entrance because I was dreading it so much to build it that I kind of pushed it back. And right now, like, my Planet Zoo projects are pretty much dead right now, and they still have no entrance, and there's just like random habitats throughout the whole map. So that's a little bit like off. But I also didn't really play a ton of Planet Zoo, especially since it's been quite dead. On YouTube I also see it with other fellow content creators, big or small, that their Planet Zoo videos are just not doing so well. And I mean, it kind of makes sense. The game is a couple of years old now, and there's different games now, but it's still somewhat sad because I still really love this game. But I thought, why not give it a try, hop onto the Jurassic World train and also start building there. And in the beginning the building was a little bit tricky. It is like more intuitive for people that have played Planet Zoo like me, but there's still a ton of things that are different. There's also like cool new features that are really practical while building. And also they have a ton of really nice pieces, especially the textures on the pieces are really nice. And I feel like the modular building in this game has like a really big potential, but I do feel like we just need a bit more building pieces, especially like little accessories and really small pieces. In Jurassic World everything is like so big because the animals are surely really big, so the scaling is a little bit hard, especially when you're doing like small things for very small animals or for the guests, because the people are not that big as the dinosaurs. So it can sometimes be a little bit hard to build like smaller things for guests or like for people in general. But I feel like it does work still really well, and I hope that in the future, when they are going to release DLCs, that it's also going to be like same with like the Planet Zoo DLCs, where there were like a couple of animals and then a bunch of like new building pieces. So far we do have like the deluxe version and also one little DLC where there's a couple of building pieces, especially the cars. At the beginning I was like extremely confused why I couldn't find the cars, and then I found out that they are part of the DLC, so I quickly had to get that one, because otherwise my parking lot would have been extremely empty besides the buses. But now I do have the cars, and if anyone is wondering, you need to get one of the DLCs for that. For the entrance building, I wanted to kind of set the theme and the vibe for the whole zoo. So what I was going for was like somewhat grand, but not like as grand as the Jurassic World like entrances and buildings. So I wanted to go somewhat realistic, that a normal zoo or typical zoo in our days would look like, but also a little bit more bougie or a little bit more grand, as I said, than a regular zoo, since it is a dinosaur zoo and dinosaurs are not like regular animals that you can find everywhere. So I wanted to go like somewhere in between and not go like completely over the top and make it super modern and super big, but still a little bit more than with a casual zoo that I would build for like normal animals. So I think I find or have found a way to complete that. So the building is pretty new, since dinosaurs are not here for like 30 years. They're pretty new to the world, or like back to the modern world. So I wanted to give the feeling that the building and everything around is somewhat new, and not like overly aged. I also wanted to make sure that I use a ton of like more natural materials. I didn't really want to make it look super modern, so I thought with making it look more natural with like natural colors, stones, rocks and wood, I would give it sort of this vibe, and also to blend more into the like surrounding nature. So I feel like by the chosen materials, the rocks, the color of the concrete, the wood and the copper roof, and also the glass pieces, I kind of find a good middle between like a natural look and it being like grand and modern, and just where you go in and be like, wow, this is a great entrance, this is a great zoo. So I'm really happy with the end result. And as I was looking for inspiration for the entrance, I was looking around on Pinterest, found a couple of like actual zoos, then a couple of like plannings or little like pictures of what an entrance could have looked like. I used one of those for my first trial, which I wrecked, as I said in the beginning, because I absolutely hated it. And then I found a picture that was like a project picture and possibly even AI. I'm not sure if it was like designed or if it is like made by AI. And it is supposed to be like an airport entrance. And I pretty much used like this little square in the front where you will later see the name of the zoo, and then these like glass wall with the wooden like details in the front that I really loved. So that is basically the same, and also the structure or the form of the roof. In the beginning I had like less glass in the roof, but the building from the inside was so extremely dark, because we also don't really have functional lights that are on during the daytime. So it was so dark in there that I hated it. So I made a completely like glass made roof. I would have chosen a different roof if I had the choice, but for the sake of the visibility inside, I had to make as much of the roof made out of glass as possible. So that's why the glass is completely, or the roof is completely made out of glass. I hope that they will fix that we can also turn on the lights during the daytime and that they will not only go on during the night. There is like two little lights that are also on during the daytime. One of them is blinking and the other one is like a stagnant light. So by putting this one light inside other like bulbs, I kind of gave it the illusion that the light is working. It's not like perfect, but for now it is okay. It's for the little spotlights that you will later see in the like plant beds, where there will also be the statues, like as I'm placing right now. And so I use that little trick to give it a little bit more light, and also the illusion that the lights are actually working, and they should be on during the daytime. So I hope that they will fix it, that we can turn on all the lights also during the day, or that we can choose if they are only on during the night or if they are always on. So that would be absolutely great, and I hope so much that they will fix that, because otherwise I will probably run into a lot of like problems when building buildings that are actually supposed to be seen from the inside. Also, the doors for the entrance and exit from the building, I didn't really show the process of me building them, because I will later delete them, because I figured out that in the ego perspective you cannot walk through walls or close doors. In Planet Zoo we could, so I thought just putting indoors, but in Jurassic World we can't. So I later deleted the doors and made just like open glass walls where you can walk through. I didn't really have the nerve to build like doors that were just put open. So right now we are just working with this opening in the building. Maybe I will fix it later, or if we get like different doors in DLCs or different building pieces, I might build like doors that are open so you can still walk through them in the ego perspective, that but it's still giving the illusion that they can be closed when the zoo is closed, so no one's going in and out. But for now they are just open, so I hope you don't mind. For the interior, I wanted to keep it relatively simple, just a couple of plant beds with like interesting things here and there. So in the middle you have the big T-Rex statue with the babies. Then from the left and right from the entrance you have two plant beds with some skeletons. And when you're going into the zoo and exiting the like entrance building, there will be a couple of these amber rocks, and then you are finally going onto the plaza of the real zoo. Other than that, I basically just did the little ticket booths where you can buy your ticket to finally go into the zoo. Then we have the toilets and just like doors towards the staff rooms. On the like second floor within this building, I thought that there would possibly be some staff like offices. So there are just the little windows and then the doors on the left and right where only the staff can enter. And also for the windows, I just a little bit later realized that you can basically change the look of the windows so that they are pretty much see-through, and that there will be a room on the other side, which I thought was really amazing. And I hope that they will add a couple more rooms, because for like staff things we only have like 2 rooms, and they are actually operation rooms, so more for like a vet. I feel like they still do work as kind of an office room too, especially if you cannot completely look inside. Since the windows are on the second floor, you can't really look inside, but it still gives like the illusion that there are rooms where the staff would be working. As you can see right now, the little triangular part of the roof is not glass. As I said, later changed the way of the roof. So basically I just removed the triangular part and replaced it with glass pieces, and just put some like supportion beams in the inside so that it looks somewhat realistic. I don't think that you're really paying attention to the roof anyways if you're like inside the building, but I still thought to make it like a little bit more realistic when it comes to the like static and stuff like that for the whole building. So I didn't really show the replacement part because it is basically the same roof just with glass pieces. And I also will not show the building process of the parking lot. I was also recording the beginning of building the parking lot, but I later just stopped recording because I was just placing things, deleting them, building it differently again, deleting it again. So it was a little bit hard for me to figure out how I want the parking lot to look like, or how to build it. It was also the very first parking lot that I ever did, so I never built a parking lot in like Planet Zoo, for example. So it was a little bit tricky for me to figure it out. In the end, I really love the end result, even though it took me like 2 days to complete the parking lot. I really like it. It is like a tad bit too small, maybe, but I don't really mind. Maybe I will make it a little bit bigger now that I know what it should look like. But for now, we are just keeping it like that. You will see it in the cinematic shots, so definitely stay tuned till the end of this video to see what the parking lot looks like. And also I will put this whole thing on the workshop, so you can download that and put it into your own zoo as like your own entrance, or maybe you just want to have the parking lot. So definitely check that out. I will put down the codes in the description so you can copy that and put it into the workshop, and then you will find my entrance and parking lot. All in all, I would say that I'm really happy with the game, and Frontier really did something there, and I hope that the game will just proceed to get better and better with new DLCs when we get new animals or new dinos and more like building pieces, maybe maps and so on and so forth. And maybe they can like fix one or two things in the modular building system, so it will be a little bit better. But all in all, I would say this pretty nice game. Also the sandbox game, but the campaign is also really nice. If you have played Jurassic World 2, I would just say that it is pretty much the same game. Jurassic World Evolution 3 is just better, so it's just like the revamped version, just made better with like the modular building system, with the baby dinosaurs and so on and so forth. So if you have enjoyed the first game, or let's better say the second game, because it was a Jurassic World Evolution 2, and you still want to play it pretty much again but just better, then you can definitely get this game. But you just have to keep in mind that it is, especially if you're playing campaign, pretty much just the same, a little bit better. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you liked the way I built the very first entrance in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Let me know in the comments what you think, what I can do better, or what the first habitat should be when you go into the zoo. So I'm definitely open for suggestions. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more from the Jurassic Zoological Garden that I'm building. Now enjoy the cinematics shots that are about to come to see the final result, and also the parking lot that I haven't really showed the building process of. And I will say my goodbyes, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!